So today is May 1st, 2022. I was just recording, got like 3 minutes into it or so, and it disconnected again. Nice, interesting. So, and it didn't even have my initial reaction to drinking Ripple for the first time. So that's good. It actually tastes really nice. It actually tastes really good. Yeah, that flavor. That aftertaste is slightly of the pea protein, but it almost does have that sort of raw coconut taste to it, like when you have the meat of the coconut and it's kind of bland in that way. That's kind of how it is. Anyway, so hopefully it won't disconnect again now that I had to go delete 2 videos prior. You'd think that I had enough memory or whatever to be able to have these videos, but no, everything I do is somehow toxic to everyone, and then I have to end up, I'm the one that has to eat it, right? Because I can't expose what's really going on and everything. Interesting. Interesting how I have to suffer, right? No thanks. I'm not gonna do that. No thanks. I was going through the grocery store. Oh, this was on clearance. Mango. That's a little tart. Did not expect that. So, alright. I had already shared on my last video that I got some organic Fuji apples, 3 for 99 cents. But since they were organic and everything, I thought, well, why not? You know, I may not like Fuji's that much, but they'll be better than nothing. It's great produce. So that's why I shared that video of me and the Kroger, because I figured there are so many people out there that are like, I can't eat healthy. I can't eat a vegan diet. It's too expensive. 4 organic avocados for 99 cents. That's expensive to you? So don't talk smack to me about how I've been able to maintain all these years and turn around. It's like, and then people are like, well, then you still don't deserve it. You still don't deserve anything. You lost 150 pounds doing all these natural things. You don't deserve anything because the government, the US government, doesn't appreciate that you're calling them out on being liars and manipulators. Interesting. Because, like, I'm living proof that if you eat a healthy diet and start exercising, you can avoid a lot of toxic behaviors and toxic mental issues. And you don't act out in public, and you don't act out in this and that, and regardless of whoever said you acted out prior is actually abusive, and they want to hide the fact that they abused me. So again, about me, because this isn't about promoting products or anything. This isn't about anything else but my actual reality. All right? This is how I've been able to maintain. People talk smack all the time, and now I'm just going to start relaying them to my videos. If you want to know how you save money when you're poor, when you're, down on your luck, you barely got anything, this is what I spend my money on. Like, literally. I spent $12 of my Humana card, which is the $50 that I get monthly through my insurance for food. And I also spent, I don't know, the WIC items, they get covered, and that's also covered underneath that. That produce right there. So the Ripple itself, and I was so excited just now, but then I got cut off from my video, and that pisses me off, so I can't convey this as happily as I would have liked. Most people don't realize that the discounted items, the digital coupons work in conjunction with the discount. So I only paid $1.29 for this item. And I don't often get milk. I don't often get, because I'm poor. Because the world doesn't love people like me that speak out against the authorities. The world doesn't care about us. Instead, they make us look crazy. They start doing delusional things like, telling other people this and that, lies about me. What am I? I'm just because, oh my God, I'm speaking out, that makes me an anarchist. Oh my God. Okay, I'm just gonna start deleting everybody's stupid comments. I love them so much, but they're so dumb. Something about if you were pregnant or whatever, and if you got hit. The doctor told me her name was Frankowski. Okay, so if you'd like to go look up an obstetricianist that is the name Frankowski, then go for it. That's the lady who treated me. She said I didn't need to be monitored. There was no reason for what or this and that, but she had to violate me physically. So, just to check on me, and all they did was let me rest. So, don't ask me stupid questions. Don't say stupid shit. I've made my fucking ultrasounds known. You should know. Quit fucking with people. So why would you say if I was pregnant? I'm definitely pregnant, because otherwise I wouldn't be acting so hormonally and videoing all this shit and not giving a fuck. Try to eat up as much of this as I can for that $1.29. So it won't go bad, because I know immediately it's going to start getting warm and I'm not going to want to eat it. This is gross. Earlier I had my oatmeal with my... Oh, that's really tart. I didn't expect all that. I mean, it's good, but that just means that it sat too long as I was traveling through the store. Oh my god, it took me like 20 minutes to check out just now, because sometimes the cards don't like to work right. So when you're going through the checkout and you're using your WIC first, and then you use the card for the Humana presumes we want to pay for all of it then. And we're going to go ahead and credit back WIC from whatever nonsense that is, making everybody's life difficult. That's why I was stuck at the register for 20 minutes. Everyone behind me hated me. And I was like, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. It's the electronics that didn't want to work through properly. So then we had to separate the transactions from the WIC items, separate them from the actual, the rest of the items. Do you realize how time-consuming that is? How much stress that is? And how much I just relax and I try to go through it. Everyday life is stressful, and people don't give anyone enough credit for it. You're stuck at a register for 20 minutes. You've got cold items. You're sitting there waiting, and you're thinking like, oh God, like these are gonna go bad by the time I walk out the door, and it's fucking 100 degrees outside. So, yeah, and that's an exaggeration, mind you. I like their blueberry one is good. And the vanilla one of this, it's a Simple Truth brand. They're really good. Frustrating me to where I'm not happy anymore. Fucking mad. Trying to be happy. So, I picked out a lot of organic items, but apparently I'm living above my means. I'm living above my means because I don't deserve organic items. I don't deserve fresh produce. I don't deserve any of that stuff because I'm low income and I'm trash to everyone around me. And my story is just me being manipulative and wanting money out of everyone in a house and everything. Isn't that nice? As somebody said on there too, something about there were over 100 comments. Now there are only 4. Question face or whatever, that ugly ass face, her little weasel ass face too on that profile that said that. I think that's hilarious. People are so funny. Like, let me call myself out on my own distortions. Like I care much. Like my story, like this story is so relevant to people. Get over yourselves. You mean nothing to me. If you're not supplying me, if you're not affording for me, then get over your stupid ass selves. That's it. That's all there is to it. You're retarded. Look at organic animal crackers. Oh my god. They're so good too. Oh my god. I'm gonna feed this baby some organic animal crackers. Let everyone be jealous. My little cute baby. A healthy baby. Something got into my clothes or something. I hate that when I get chiggers. It sucks. So anyway, like I said about the whole transaction thing, it was trying to offer me my WIC money back. And I was like, can we just void the transaction? They didn't know how to void it, so it took forever. And finally, the lady credited back the WIC, which is how it's supposed to work, which makes no sense either. Either you void the transaction, it shouldn't have done it in the first place, whatever. Electronics, they're insane. So it took me that long to just get out of the store. And I thanked the ladies. I was like, thank you so much. I appreciate you very much for taking the time. I'm sorry that it did that. I'll know for next time that it won't work that way here at this place, because every location is different. Sometimes you can use all the cards in conjunction, it won't have an issue. And then sometimes it's like, oh, I can't figure out sales, I can't figure out discounts and coupons, I can't understand this and that. Let's destroy everybody's life all at once. Like I said the other day when it tried to charge me $11 when I actually only paid $6. Interesting. Like, just because of the separation in cards, so now I have to like separate every transaction for the WIC items and separate all of the other items and make sure that there's no sale and blah 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 blah. What? It's ridiculous. Just want to steal more money from us. Money we don't have and don't care to fucking go and seek, because it should already be allotted to us. Survival. Fucking crazy. Eight grams of protein. It's actually pretty good. Probably be pretty tasty too if you ended up, and it does have that slight aftertaste like I said, if you ended up putting something in it like syrup or something like that, like chocolate syrup or strawberry. You remember when they used to make banana milk powder and stuff, and that strawberry milk powder, and then the tin? I saw that on Facebook, and then I deleted my Facebook because I was done with it, and I was like, fuck that. I didn't delete the actual account. I just deleted the app off my phone, so it's not there for me to be distracted by. I needed some time away. And then when I went to go look at a thing on Safari with it, it said I was already, for 30 days, blocked on there, couldn't post. Over me saying that men were deranged. That's how crazy they are. Like, take a joke. Yeah. Joke. They're not fucking crazy. And they call us crazy. Well, you see, hormones, emotions, we weren't taught to engage with those. So we're just in this closed-off mindset that makes everybody look like they're crazy. That's called gaslighting. That's what that is, buddy. If you don't mean what you say, then don't say it. Jason Wallace. Now I'm fucking this much pregnant, and like, god damn it. How the fuck am I supposed to survive? If I had my own home, all these items would last me plenty of days. Tons of fucking days. I'm very frugal. I would have had just a little bit at a time, save my milk, have this all week long, but no. Now I've got to waste money every goddamn day. $1 here, $1 there, $3 here, $3 there, because I don't have any way of keeping everything situated. But when I lived in my own home, that's why I didn't have any issues. That's why I was able to maintain. That's why I didn't seek assistance in that way. Because I managed. And I managed off of the low income that I was receiving. So, I don't know what is wrong with people. I really don't. Just give me my shit back. Do it properly. Give me better shit then, because obviously you're fucked up and all you want to do is hurt people. I'm just going to harp about this every day. It doesn't matter. Like every fucking day you're going to know the system has fucked me over. All this and that is true. I'm not trying to fucking get money out of it, but I should be getting money out of it. I should be getting shit tons of fucking money because of all the fucking assaults and the violations and the sexual trauma. What the fuck? People are crazy. That's why I put my videos out there. For anybody that wants to try to contradict what I say. For anybody that doesn't want to actually step foot in my shoes for a few days to realize, hey, that wasn't right. If I were suffering through that, if nobody were listening to me because of certain classifications and diagnoses or racial, whatever, discrimination, sexual gender discrimination, all that. Oh yeah, people are crazy. They call me crazy though, because I'm not acting like them. I'm not off getting a job. I'm not trying to succeed in that way. I'm not off getting a bunch of material things. And even the things that I had gotten, I managed to pay for on my own. I did it. And then what? Now I don't have any of it because of the fact that they thought I was a criminal for saying stuff and writing letters, typing letters. They said I was crazy. I couldn't be around my baby because I was asking too much and saying too much about God in my letters. They used that against me. You know that? They discriminated against my religion. And that is illegal, violating my constitutional rights. And nobody sees it though. That's why I keep harping about it. That's why I keep surviving. That's why I keep doing what I do. This is me. This is Leticia. The one that finds savings, that gives things away, especially if she just doesn't need it or doesn't want it or whatever. If she's done with it, she should pass it along. But yeah. People are fucking crazy. I'm just snacking because I wanted to get that milk down. I wanted to try it for one. And I thought the $1 would be worth it. The $1.29 to try it at least. Because I think it's like $4 or $5 per gallon. But I'm telling you, if you stock up on these things, if you look for them to be on sale or discounted, and then use the coupons in conjunction, you would end up so much happier. And some people, I can't do that. I've got a job where I'm working too much. Well, then disconnect from your job for a while. Realize that you aren't making enough from that job to support yourself and your children and whatnot. And do these few things. And then you'll feel so much better. Because you're like, oh God, it only takes me a little while to scroll through and add coupons to my card on my app. Makes it quick and easy when I'm at the checkout. Make sure those coupons are there in conjunction with my items. Woo! Woo! Took you 30 minutes longer, yet all of a sudden you saved so much money. Like, I have no idea how much I just saved right now, but it was a lot of money. Because comparatively, when that stuff is full price, exactly. Plus, I was going to share too, I'd gotten these, this organic oatmeal. Now that applesauce I probably could have waited on. I'm not really sure why I went ahead with the purchase of the applesauce. I guess because it was just in the cart and I figured eventually I'll eat it. I'm actually pretty upset that I purchased it ahead of time now that I have these apples, because I wasn't thinking properly when I picked it up. So now I've got all these apples and applesauce, and I'm thinking inevitably I'll probably just pass a couple off here and there. And I've got more WIC items now since it started over on the 1st, so I can give away more milk and cheese and whatever, because apparently this $1.29 milk isn't worth WIC paying for because it's not soy. GMO soy. So, and it's like, well, no, it says non-GMO. It doesn't matter. It still bloats up my stomach. And if you would offer something that was beneficial for me personally, like coconut milk or almond milk, then maybe we could talk. But you're just feeding me your bottom feeder bullshit. And I'm like, whatever. That's why I went ahead and just added everything to the card so I can turn around and offer it to other people. And that's what you get. You're still going to pay for other people to survive, because that's how it works. And it happens through me because, I don't know, I guess I'm just that giving. So, oh, excuse me. I got some organic strawberries too. Probably didn't really need those at this very, very moment. But then I thought, that's actually one of the first purchases I made, or put in my cart, and then I went back around. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. The animal crackers are so good. Why? It's made a mess. It says total savings on this one for the regular items, not the WIC items, mind you. The ones that I paid for with the insurance card. It said on there, $26 is what I saved. Apparently these animal crackers also accumulated me some weird power points. They're so good. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't wait to feed these to my baby. Hey, you want some animal crackers? Some organic ones? You're so cute. I love you. Here's some cookies. Telling you. People are crazy. You know, I don't really care about calling myself out on where I am or anything either. I got these ones because they were organic, but they also make a blueberry one that it's not organic though. It's the same brand. I like the flavor of it, but I didn't want to go with it because it wasn't organic, so I went with this. I always feel so much better. I just stick to fresh produce and organic items. So much better. Avoiding any animal products that cause inflammation and gastrointestinal disruptions. I was thinking about that this morning. I am so blessed that I don't wake up having to have like diarrhea, because then I probably wouldn't get it to the bathroom that quickly, since I have to get out of my vehicle. I have to move from the back to the front, get my shoes on, make sure my hair is not all crazy, then walk into a place and use the facility without, offending anyone of my through my existence as being someone that's just not trying, someone that's just living in their car and just not trying. If you say this isn't trying, then I'm pretty sure you can go kill yourself. For real. If you're trying to tell me that I have not tried hard enough in my life to seek help through all these things and to expand beyond that, evolve beyond that, then you're sick and you need to go kill yourself. So, and I've tried to explain that to people. Don't talk to me like that. I've had plenty of instances where people tell me off, even comments on here that they allow to go through, that they purposely put through, and it's like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Get a life. Grow up. I'm just trying to share my story, regardless. And you can't hold me to any of that shit either, because the only thing you can hold me to are the proofs of things. Where's the proof? I mean, I caught it on video, certain things, but apparently that's still not proof enough for people. My trauma's not proof enough for people. Insane. Fucking insane. And the funny thing is I only started videotaping myself because I realized, well, shit, I could die any day. I could literally get stabbed by one of these fucking people, these other homeless people. I could literally be hurt, and no one cares. So I made out these videos so I could reach out to my child, so she knows how my days are going. This is what's going on, Tootsie. Hey, guess what? Since I saw you last, I've been raped, I've been robbed from, your father tried to kill me with loaded guns. Hey, guess what? And I still managed to survive and come back through some way. And even these videos are some way to get back to her, because if that's all that's left for her, then so be it. It's my legacy for her, that she realizes how fucked up the world is around her, and she can't even trust officers like they say that you can. So, yeah, hypocrites, liars, manipulators, everywhere. Politicians as well, apparently, which I already knew from the beginning, but I mean, everybody was on TV for a reason, and they looked so nice, and they can portray a certain story, but that doesn't mean that they're actually living that story. That doesn't actually mean that those words are true. That's why I don't stick to mainstream media like that, although I love pop culture. Not gonna lie, it's fun. Every generation, every, whatever. I enjoy it. So I do like mainstream things, but I'm not gonna watch the media like that to the point where it's gonna, oh my God, how did I not see it? People are crazy. That's why I just avoid everything. I just go about my business. If it's not right there and tangible to me, then I delve into the concepts, but then I find my own way, like everyone else should. Everybody should have their own preferences. Everybody should have their own, state of mind in that way of like trying to, everybody's born different. Everybody has different circumstances, regardless if you're even twins. There's a difference with the way that you're raised. There's a difference within all of that, because you're not always going to be, offered what you're seeking. Like even with those twin babies, one of them ends up getting attention, and then the other one gets the attention, and then they probably switch off, who knows. But still it's different for some other. It's different. Maybe those times when they both needed attention, the one that needed more attention didn't get it first, and then holds a resentment toward the other child because of that. Well, mommy always goes to you. In their mind, it's mommy always does that, or daddy always does that. I'm left out all the time. And then one of those twins ends up snapping psychologically, or both of them even. So, yeah. I did not wash my hands after walking through the grocery store and touching all my items. And then, yeah, I'm pretty grossed out by that. But I know it also helps build immunity. So it's probably one of the reasons why I haven't contracted COVID, is that here and there I don't mind germs in that way. I mean, I do, but I don't. I know some differences in the types of germs and the amount of germs, and the, some places I just don't even go into because I know that they're covered in filth, and that's definitely something I don't need to be breathing in, allowing into my immune system somehow or another. And that's why I always put toilet paper down before I sit. And the crappy parts are the times where I really have to use the restroom and I flop down and can't put the toilet paper down first. And then I'm like, oh my God, my day is ruined. Nobody goes around sanitizing toilet seats. Hardly anyone. They don't see the germs on there. So that's interesting to me. I don't know. I don't know. And somebody had asked me too, can you tell us about your stay in the jail? Yeah, but that'll make this a pretty lengthy video. And I guess if you want to know. But, so I turned off the power at my house. And all of a sudden, officers showed up at my house. I thought that was odd, because I knew I was speaking to them through my electronics in my house. I knew that they were monitoring me through some different facets here and there. But then all of a sudden, when I ended up turning off the electricity, because I felt like even the light bulbs, I started removing the light bulbs from the, I was very, very paranoid. And that was signs of schizophrenia, because of the psychiatric medications I was on at that time. Was on a huge dosage of Prozac that the psychiatrist had deemed that I needed. And then she was trying to cut it. And I told her, I was like, well, I don't know about that. I feel fine. And she was like, well, you don't seem fine. And I was like, so you're going to cut it and cause me to have another suicide attempt and yada yada. And you don't know what the fuck's going on. None of them do. They just don't care. It's really none of their business if you kill yourself. So, but they're the ones that prescribe all of it. So really they should be held accountable for that. They know the differences in pharmaceuticals, and they know the processes, and that's why I was fed 90 bars of Xanax at one time for numerous months. So, anyway, they showed up. I was laying in my front yard. I just turned off all the power. The dogs, the doors were open in the house, and it was like spring at that time. And I don't even remember what days I went in. I don't remember what months I was in jail. I'm going to be completely honest. I just remember that it was the springtime, sometime around April or so. And maybe March. I'm not even sure. So I'm laying in there in the grass. They came up and they were like, oh, hey, what's going on? Are you doing okay? And I was like, yeah, just waiting for you. That's what I told them, because I knew something was up. So they were like, hey, we whatever, and they try to play off some bullshit. They always lie to you or whatever. And they said something about, well, if you're not feeling well, maybe we should take you to the doctor or something. Maybe we should, have you go. So at that time, I do not remember them cuffing me. I do not remember me being placed in a vehicle. I remember going to the hospital. I remember being placed in an ambulance, but there were so many times where I was placed in ambulances where I had officers called to my home and this and that because I was needing help, that it's all kind of a blur. So I remember nothing about any handcuffs. Absolutely nothing. Even by the time when we had gotten there, I remember they might have placed cuffs on my hands in the front here and escorted me into the jail. But then when we were in there, I was like, well, what are we doing here? I don't understand what's going on. And nobody explained to me what was going on. They never explained to me that there was a warrant for harassing communications. None of it. I did not even know. So when I was placed in there, I was just going along with it, and I was like, okay, yeah, but then I started freaking out. So I started freaking out to the point where I couldn't even sit, I couldn't stand up. I was walking around because, there was a strange pain in my butt when I would sit down. So I thought it was surges of electricity through whatever metallics were in the building that were interfering with whatever I was taking, the pharmaceuticals that I was taking or on at that time. So when they had told me, and I'm gonna smoke right now because fuck it, I don't care. I really do not give a shit. If you want to place me in jail for my honest truths, good. That makes you look fucking insane. So I got this new one from that dude that he had the pipe. Didn't even know how to use it though. He was jittering and he was going like this and he was holding it like this, like that, and all stupid. And I've showed him a few times. This is how you do it. You just hold the card with your thumb, You suck in when you're lighting, let go when it's lit, and then and he was, maybe you should light it for me. Yeah, and you're the one prescribing medications to people, and you can't even, like, hand-eye coordination bullshit? Okay, whatever. My opinion, right? Just my opinion. So, when he ended up, the officers and everything, when I was there were so many hours, and I tried to call my ex-husband because he's the only phone number I knew. So I remember that. I remember calling maybe once or twice. I remember people that were on the phone near me. I was already heightened from so much Prozac that I was listening to other people's conversation and making it out to be my circumstances. So I was talking to myself. I didn't know what was going on. I was just trying to be, like, polite to everybody. What's going on? Like, why am I in jail right now? What did I do? Like, I didn't do anything. All I did was send some letters to my ex-husband, and I made a video and posted that on YouTube years ago of me holding those guns that he left behind and saying, well, what, this is what you wanted? For me to kill myself on live feed or to go after you and shoot your fucking ass? Now, I'd already had the fucking guns for 2 years. If I would have wanted to, I could have already killed that bitch and his other bitch and whatever and his family. Just saying. But I didn't. So there's your fucking proof of my actual character and the character of those around me, because they cried wolf. They were like, oh my God, she's crazy. She's out to get us. Another restraining order. Another restraining order. So that's what they made it, they perceived it as, is, oh, we have to protect, the child. We have to protect the ex-husband. And in actuality, they weren't doing anything to protect the actual victim. Here, me. The one that sustained all the abuse and the physical abuse, all the sexual abuse, all the psychological trauma. And what did they do? They turned it around on me because I was suffering and all I was doing was trying to reach out with my words. They negated my freedom of speech. And even as a disabled citizen, they just completely ignored that. Nobody was there to advocate for the situation. They knew I was disabled. There was no one that came to speak to me face to face to explain to me what had happened. No, I sat in booking all day that day, wondering when I was going to go home. I didn't know what was going on. Why am I in trouble? I never even leave my home. I never do this. I never do that. You didn't disclose whatever. And they said it was because of my ex-husband. I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, I was just trying to talk to him. I haven't seen him in years. I haven't talked to him because he's got issues. He does. If he didn't, he would have been able to openly communicate. But he didn't. He did everything very shady. And then turned around and did all this stuff to me. And I was like, no, okay, what you don't see is that eventually I'm going to get my voice again and I'm going to tell everybody about what you've done. And that's what it was. I was on so many psych meds, trying to get over the depression, trying so hard. I didn't know at that time, because I just became a mother. Everything was changed. My chemistry in my entire body had changed. Once you give birth and breastfeed and everything, that's a huge difference in a woman that has not conceived or ever even gotten pregnant. There's a huge chemical difference. It's just based around that, the chemistry. So here I am freaking out. Haven't seen my kid for a few years. Trying to reach out to my ex-husband. At that time, right before, I had sent a letter to the psychiatric board, or the psychological, whatever, psychiatric board, about the psychiatrist in the way that she was handling me. And they sent me a letter stating, months after that, nothing came of it, that they didn't want to do anything. And I was like, okay, that's cool. You all get your karma anyway. The same thing with all these other doctors that mistreated me and all this and that, and then I realized it was all a ploy. They can't get in trouble a majority of the time unless people have money to sue them. So that was the difference. I didn't have the money to sue anyone, and that's why at first people thought I had money. So then they treated me differently. But then when they found out that I had no money, that I wasn't able to process these things in the court of law, that's when shit hit the fan. That's when things really got interesting, because it proved that they really don't care about individuals as much as they just care about the financial backing. So, like I said, I was in the jail. I was in booking, sitting up, sitting down. The only people I knew to call was my ex-husband. That's the only number I had saved in my head. I did not call my mother, and none of it, because I didn't remember her number. They didn't take me in with any of my phone. They didn't take me in with any of that. They literally left my dogs open in the house. What they did was just shut the doors, left all 9 of them loose in the house together, shit and piss, whatever, all that. Nobody came to my aid. No one came that day. So they looked at me like I was the felon, like I was the issue, like I was this and that, because of, the people that I'm related to as well. I get that. I completely understand that. But you have to see everyone as an individual. I was not trying to threaten him through those videos by holding the guns. There was no threat there. The fact of it was, I was threatening the fact that he left them there. That makes him clearly a murderer or an attempted murderer. Okay? He attempted that murder by leaving loaded guns with someone that he deemed was disabled because he filed the paperwork for me. So I was trying to disclose that. I finally want my baby back. You guys are crazy. Obviously, nobody's processing this correctly. Nobody's thinking it, seeing the overall, every perspective of it. My ex-husband never sought therapy. What did he do? Went ahead and got remarried. So there wasn't trauma there. There wasn't an issue there. Because they went on and they led their lives as if nothing. So that makes them narcissistic sociopaths. So, just saying, in all of the grander scheme of things, I should be making bank right now. I should be, living off of their finances and should be getting paid from this shit. That's crazy. Okay? So I've been patient. I've been loving. I've been kind. I've been waiting for everyone to fix their shit because I don't have money to put in your systems for me to fix it. Everyone said, you've got to fix it on your own. This is my way of attempting to fix it on my own, because the only thing I have of any value is my intellect. And that's all I have. That is absolutely all I have. I don't have my looks or any of that stuff, but I've created something from nothing. Years ago when I got arrested, you'll see the photos too when people post my criminal record everywhere of how heavy set I was and how sad I was within myself because nobody was listening to me. All they saw was a frumpy psychiatric patient. That's all they saw. And that I was reaching out, that it was so sad that her reality is distorted because everyone else distorted my reality. There's no distortion behind me wanting to just lay there and die. There's nothing wrong with me. There's everything wrong with what had happened to me and what caused me to be so, manically depressed and everything. Or, what is that? Major depression disorder. Majorly depressed. So I feel like this is crazy. Even relaying this and the bits and pieces that I can remember, they gave me food there. I didn't want to eat it. There was contaminants in the sandwiches and whatever. There was bits and pieces of stuff. And I was so heightened that I thought that I was in there in my brain, I could remember some portions like I was trying to get information about the jail in itself. That's what came over me. Like as if I were in there to find out what mistakes they were making and what they were drugging people with and what this and that. So after I got heightened and I told everyone, don't touch me. Like at one point I was like, I don't need the male officers touching me. They didn't care. And there were like 3 officers that grabbed me up. I started screaming at the top of my lungs because they said that I had to sit down, and I wouldn't because I have ADHD. I'm actually autistic. I'm actually disabled. So they told me I had to sit down or they were going to force me to. And I was like, no, you don't understand. Stay away from me. I'm not doing anything to hurt anybody. I'm in my own space. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. Whatever you presumed from those videos and from those letters, me talking about and preaching about God, you got it incorrect. Whatever version of God you've got, you're preaching to Satan. You know, Satan's preaching to you. So anyway, I had gotten grabbed up by these officers and dragged into one of the holding cells. And they gave me shots in the holding cells. And that's what I remember. That's exactly how I remember it. And then I was very dreary, sort of drowsy from that. And I remember feeling like I was feverish, like I was getting really, really sick. I told them, don't give me shit. I'm allergic to that stuff. Don't fuck with me. Like I was already coming down from, my Prozac and whatever, right? So I'd been in there for God knows how many hours. Then I get shoved into the frickin' cell and they just leave me there as I'm screaming and everything, and they expect me to just be okay. And all these alterations, like the coldness in the room, and I'm on psych meds. I'm not feeling good at all. I'm jittery, feeling sick and everything. And I ended up passing out after screaming, and I was freaking the fuck out. I remember pushing myself against the walls because I couldn't believe that they touched me. I couldn't believe that they would rip me up and beat the shit out of me after I just proved to them that he left these loaded guns with me. After I proved that he was the sadist. And I was like, wait a second, are you not seeing this? What the fuck is going on with you? I literally have just shown you why I'm not with my kid, because these loaded guns, because he decided to get married to someone else. I didn't even know that before I went to jail. I'm gonna be completely honest. I was like, when I heard through people, oh, he already went and got remarried, I didn't look him up. He doesn't have Facebook like that. He doesn't, his wife has Facebook, but I didn't know to check it. I wasn't stalking anybody. And they've got a record of that through my computer, through my phone. They have all of the records. That's why I was scared when I knew that they had access to it, because they could alter that shit and say whatever they wanted to in court to try to hurt somebody like me that doesn't have the money to fight the system, or a family who has money to fight the system. So I was freaked the fuck out. I'm in the jail. I'm shoving myself against things, freaking out. I didn't understand. It was probably really scary for them too, wondering why this girl was freaking out so badly. I was really heavy set when I went in, somewhere around 220 at that point, somewhere around that 230. I ended up leaving the jail at 200 pounds. That's how much weight I had lost during that time of all of this, the months that I was first a month in isolation. Then I went to a month or so in a psychiatric ward. And then I went back to jail for another month. And after that much of time monitoring me, they knew I wasn't a threat or anything, that I had, and they let me out. Because they told my mother that they could hold me for up to a year in the jail for what I had done. Harassing communications. I didn't even talk to him. I didn't stalk him, none of it. But because I made videos clearly stating, why did you leave me with these loaded guns? Was it because you wanted me dead? Or did you want me to come and kill you with them? So, and that's the truth, isn't it? Why? Why did he do that? So, that's what I would like the officers to clarify for me too. I'd like to know why I've been the one that has been violated and my constitutional rights were not withheld. Yet he gets to go off and do and gallivant and all this stuff. That is clearly why I told everyone, I'm going to tell on you. One of these days, when I get my shit together, I'm going to fucking tattle. So I realized, I was like, oh, it doesn't even matter about my material belongings. It matters everything about my persona, my person, my being. So I was like, I'm not taking care of myself well enough for people to rationalize that I'm being truthful. For people to see from my perspective that I'm okay in that way. My words matter. That my perspective matters. That I'm actually very intelligent and have a photographic memory, and yet nobody listens to me because I was fat and frumpy, because I was too ugly, because I'm still too ugly, because I'll never just have the looks like these weaselly ass bitches that have families and all this and that. No. because their word matters more, because they're of a certain weight group, because they're of a certain athletic group, they're of a certain, caliber of human, because they have family, because they have this and this and this. So I realized that all the things that were working against me, all the classifications, all the relationships, all of the interactions and everything, I realized, okay, fine. Go about your day, Leticia. Go on your own and prove to people what you're really like. Back to the jail. So, after a while, they let me back out, and I remember at one point, too, being shoved in another cell in booking. So I was there for 2 days, I think, in booking. And one of the days there, I was shoved into a corner one. I remember I had to take a shit, and I was freaking out. And I could stare out the window as I was sitting on the pot at men that were seated there. I flipped the fuck out. I was like, I started screaming. I was like, I need to take a shit. But I was so uncomfortable. I was so upset that I was like, I need someone to cover this. You need to cover this because I'm not doing good. Like, that's not okay. I shouldn't be there on the shitter as a female with men staring at me that are in jail for their own fucking reasons. So I flipped the fuck out. What did they do? They gave me a couple blankets, right? Because I was cold. I wrapped those blankets around myself like Holy Mary style, you know what I'm saying? Like all that, like monk style, and I was sitting there saying my prayers. Just going around my room, saying my prayers. People thought, okay, yeah, this bitch crazy. Of course she was out to kill her ex-husband, blah, 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 blah. No, not at all like that at all. But when I say words, people misconstrue them, or they take them literally instead of metaphorically or symbolically, and people are like so stupid in that way. They don't know me. So I thought my ex-husband knew me. After 5.5 years, he didn't get to know me, and that's how he was able to manipulate me, because he knew that he could use the words of love as a shield in order to blindside me. So yes, I was blinded by his words and how he manipulated me, and I thought he was so innocent. I honestly did. I thought, oh my God, he never did anything wrong. It was all me. I didn't. No, but no, I didn't do shit. I didn't do shit compared to what they've done to me, and I had to realize that. I had to wake the fuck up. So I was in the jail cell, all what's another one? Cornholio, like wrapped up in this fucking thing, going around just blah, 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 and like yelling and cursing at people, but in like religious terms. So everybody's like, what the fuck? Because I was talking about the 7 deadly sins and everything, because I just gotten done. I was hyped up on so much Prozac earlier. I had written half of a novel months prior to going to jail. And it was all based around the 7 deadly sins and how I'd fallen prey to them. So there should have been a copy on my hard drive on my computer, but my mother got rid of all that stuff. And they told me they saved the hard drive. I thought that was God's way of telling me, don't write the novel, don't do this and that. But actually not. Not at all. Like, God wants me to preach about this stuff because there's no way that it's going to get resolved within my frame of mind if people don't actually own up to what they did and fix the situations. I will never be healed. So I realized that I wasn't ready to finish my novel is all that was. Not that it was sort of like a pause because I wasn't fully healed at that time. And I want to be fully healed before I start really engaging with my novel again and writing it down in a helpful way that is actually sane sounding, like in the sense of what I mean by that is like, I want to be able to engage more than just one audience through it being like religious based and everything. So at first it was kind of funny to me. So even at the time when I was going to church around that time and I was asking them about this stuff, oh, you think you could help me, figure out how to pay for a lawyer so I can manage to get my daughter back or anything like that? And everyone kept telling me, no, you're just going to have to do that on your own. Well, God told me money doesn't matter. Money is not the object. It is about souls. So I had to heal myself, and I had to heal everything that was going on around me, and all the craziness and all the actual demons that are there, and all these hypocrites and all these people that portray something falsified. I had to explain to everyone that's not the way to go. You have to be honest, you have to be transparent, you have to be, truthful, and that's how it will change. That's how you morph into like a higher being, in that sense of not necessarily like that, but like a higher functioning person. So, and I'm not even saying, in most instances, I'm not even like saying that I'm smarter than anyone or that I'm more capable than anyone else, because we all have the same capabilities of doing these things. So I just explain it to people as that I have pardon me, it's getting warm. So what was I saying? In the jail, I was going around preaching and everything. By the time they decided to, they fed me once, I had a seizure in there because of the medications. I remember that. And I remember not being able to stop it, not feeling good. And I told them, don't do that stuff, don't give me shit. So I had a seizure in the holding cell. And then they still allowed me to get changed. So at some point after those many hours, I ended up going to, after booking, I was there for 2 days, okay? Two days in booking. And then they finally took me to wash up so that I could be put in, in the facility, in the jail. And I was placed into isolation. So they would cuff me behind my back and stuff. And I was very compliant. I didn't act out. I didn't fight anybody. I didn't, they weren't the issue. The issue was my ex-husband not giving me my belonging back, which is my daughter. That was the issue. So I knew that if I acted out toward these people, I would feel terrible. I would feel terrible personally. Not even that I needed to do it so that I could maintain, so people thought I was sane. No, not at all. I didn't portray any of that, because that's just my natural demeanor, is not to want to harm people that haven't harmed me. So, but when I'm on psychiatric medications, you don't even know what you're going to get from me. I'm going to be completely honest. If I were dangerous at that time, I might have been, because of whatever injections they gave me at the fucking jail. They knew that they fucked up in that sense too. And they were like, blah, 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 we'll just make it out to be like she's crazy. If anybody says anything, if blah, 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 if anything ever happens, we'll just blame it on her, even though it was actually their fault for injecting me with those things. So, yeah, and not giving me my proper medication and everything. And I tried to explain to everyone too that my proper medication was actually medicinal marijuana, and nobody would listen to me. Nobody was listening to me. I told them that, even the Prozac and everything, I didn't want any of it. I wanted my marijuana, and I wasn't even like smoking it. By that point, it wasn't legal. So it had became legal for me because I had a medicinal marijuana card for my PTSD. And I knew that all the symptoms that I was exhibiting were directly linked to that post-traumatic stress that I've incurred through all the encounters that I've had. So I knew what was best for me, and I told them that. They didn't want to listen. Instead, they were feeding me some pills while I was in there. When I was in jail, I sat in the room. They gave me a bag full of stuff, and I had my change of clothes. I was just waiting to leave. So I would sit in the corner, and I kept buzzing the buzzer. And I was like, I'm ready. I don't know what you guys are doing. Why am I in this room? Is this to clean the room? Is this a game? Like, I don't get it. Is this, and that's what was going on in my head. I remember that. Well, when I had gotten so many altercations with some of the other officers, they just continually, I don't remember if they injected me or forced me or something. I remember at one point that I was laying on the floor trying to read the orientation paperwork, and I didn't know what the paperwork said. I also remember that I was so messed up with whatever they had injected me with that I couldn't speak properly. That at some point that I was injected again, or whatever they had given me as pill form or whatever, I literally could not say the word family. I was saying family. That's all I remember. All of it is like a blur. It's like a fucking traumatic blur. And even during that time when I was in isolation, there were men on the floor. Now, this is a woman's area. There shouldn't have been many male officers in that area. They should have had nothing but females at that, So I thought that was really interesting because I saw the male officers there at the desk. I didn't approve of that whatsoever because I'm freaking out. We all, barely had any, we've got our scrubs from being in, or, whatever that is, the outfit, inmate outfit. But it's not appropriate. It is not appropriate. So when there were males in and out, I remember at one point, I had nothing in my room. I don't even remember. I think I had the blanket. I had the regular stuff. They had already taken away all of my toothbrush and everything like that because they said that I was being dangerous with it because day after day coming down off those psych meds, and then they were injecting me with whatever they're orally feeding me. All of it was fucked up. All I could remember was being aggressive towards some people, and because they weren't letting me out, because I was like, I don't even know I'm here. So they messed with me hardcore in the jail because they made sure that I was crazy beyond reason. They made sure to mess with me in the middle of the night because I was harping to people about sex trafficking and how that's prevalent in this area, and that's what's going down in the jail. That's what I kept telling people. Sex trafficking is going down in here. There's something wrong. If the men are allowed to be in the floor and stuff like that and be in this blah blah blah, that's not okay. Sex trafficking. Immediately I was like, I know what men think. I know how this and this. So I saw all over the ceiling, there were specks of where people had made spit wads and up at the ceiling and everything, and there was claw marks on the walls and things like that. And I was like, that's a lot. That looks a lot like those psychiatric hospitals. This is weird. Okay, that's gonna sound really weird, but the sexual abuse that happened in psychiatric hospitals and things, and the girls were forced to stay in their rooms and whatever, and those were ways that they acted out in order to share with others, to try to protect others prior. So I was, in my mind, it was sort of like a relayed, those are the ancestors of your past warning you not to trust everyone, because there were sexual deviants within that facility that ran the facility. So I knew that they had a monitor on me, the camera up in the corner. There's a camera in those isolation rooms. And I was talking to the camera. I was talking to whomever wanted to speak to me through the camera, and I was signing to them as well. Doing sign language as best I could that I could remember through all these medications, through all this and that. At one point I got so heightened, I started ripping my hair out. And like I said, about in the middle of the night one time when I had very few items within that first 30 days, I was there by myself. 2 male officers, not in the Garland County police uniforms. They were different uniforms, of the state or whatever, or whatever it was. What is it? Like highway patrol type style. There were different ones, right? Came into my room and grabbed a cup out of there. There was only one cup in there. And they grabbed it and walked out with it. And I was like, this doesn't seem right. If they're messing with me in the middle of the night like that, and they're not even dressed in proper uniform, I was scared. for my life. I was scared for my sexual well-being, all of it. So even as a fat girl and everything like that. So at one point, I started building a noose, and I hung the noose from the top of the light fixture that was there, because I know there's just some of us, we've got so much crazy in us that we can find little things and we can manipulate it into certain, like MacGyver that shit. So I made a noose out of my linens and hung it up from the top, and I had explained to them, and I even was like weighting it down to see how much it would hold, to see how much I could manage to kill myself well enough if I could. Or they also had this desk in the room. I was wondering how much it would take, how much force, in order to smack my head on the corner of the sink. So I would stand on top of it, wondering, how the fuck am I going to get out of this? I don't want to deal with this reality anymore. And also to prove a point that if somebody were really truly suicidal, they're going to find a way to do it, which I was trying. So, and I explained to them, it's not my fault that I'm suicidal. It is not my fault that I've sustained so much trauma that I don't want to deal with anybody that is untrustworthy and disloyal and dishonest. So when I ended up seeing all these crazy things, now when I first got into the jail too, like I said, I couldn't read. I didn't know I was supposed to make my bed. People were yelling at me to do things. I didn't know what was going on. They were starting to feed me, and I was avoidant of the food. At first I was like, yeah, it should be okay. And then I would also, at one point I didn't even have a cup. They wouldn't offer me a cup for water so I could drink. So I would sit and I would make sure to run off all the little particles that I saw on the very top of it before I would drink. Because in my mind, I was going through the past, where like the founding people that lived here that was how they would sift their drinking water or find pure water, is to sift it through even their hands to make sure that the best was saved at the bottom. So that's what I was doing. Constantly I was sifting through because I could see the little particles, and I knew that the metallics that were ran in the facility and all the pipes and everything like that there was a possibility that they could taint the water for the inmates. So I was worried, and I still am worried, because that shit happens all the time. That's how they dumb us down. That's how they get to us, is that they have additives to our waters, and that's what gets contaminates us. It compiles, and it causes us chemical imbalances. So I was sitting there, with whatever I had, because at one point they had taken since I had tried to commit suicide like that, I was just in one of those vests, and I was hopping around. And at one point, like, I took the vest off and was just hopping around naked in my cell, and all floppy-titted and fat-assed as I was. And I was also taking, like, my clothes, because the room was disgusting. I was, like, sanitizing it. I kept using whatever soap I had, my hand soap, to clean the facility. I was cleaning the floors. I was cleaning the handle. I was cleaning the toilet. All of it. It was disgusting, because I wasn't familiar with being enclosed in a facility that was so distasteful in that way. Why are you treating me like a criminal? I didn't do anything. So, and this video is already lengthy, so I better get off of here too, so I can, and if I forget, I'll try to remind myself later to explain more of what had happened. So then I was freaking out, right? I didn't have anything, and then at some point while I was in isolation, the ladies that were there, the female officers and some of the inmates, brought me things like paper and brought me things like a pencil, and I started sharing with them my drawing skills. And everyone was very, very interested in this crazy girl that was singing Disney in her cell, because I would sing all the Disney songs that I knew, plus whatever kind of songs, religious songs I had. So they were very curious. Why is this girl even in here? She doesn't even seem that crazy, but she's, whatever, everybody's mistreating her really bad. And so I was like, okay, well, and then finally, after actually like a week to 10 days of being in the jail, then my mother was informed. and they said, you have a phone call. And I was like, okay, hi, mommy. And I was like, sex trafficking is here. And I was telling her all this stuff over the phone. I was like, they're not treating me properly. I like told her about throwing up blood, told her that my eyesight was going because something was wrong, because they injected me with a lot of things. And she started crying. She was like, oh my God, like, this is terrible. But she didn't do anything to help me. She just felt bad for herself for having a kid that's going through that. And she always just feels bad for herself because she's going to get looked at bad, you know? And so that's what's fucked up about this, is that, like, I've never actually gotten the help that I needed or anybody to actually listen. Instead, they just continually harp that I'm the one that's crazy. And I'm like, wait a second. No. People coming in and out of my room in different outfits, stealing a cup, that's fucking crazy. The fact that these things have happened in the past and they've raped girls this way and that way, whatever, that's crazy. Just because it was a brand new facility didn't mean that there weren't contaminants in there. Didn't mean that there weren't, I was scared to sit on the toilet because I knew that those toilets could have a possible, I was scared of getting injected through screws in the walls. I thought, what if they unscrew? What if there's people behind these mirrors? What if it's just a ploy and all they're doing is injecting me as I sleep and this and this and this? So yeah, I went through a lot of fucking psychosis while I was in there because of all the shit that they were feeding me, plus the Prozac I was coming down off of. So then after that, I said, like, I went to the psych ward for a month or whatever. They deemed me fine in the sense of, like, okay, she's ready to go home. And they were like, no, we're going to shove her in jail again for another month. So then I was shoved in the regular area with the girls. And I think they held me in the one area for a few days, like they're supposed to, before they shove you in a different area. And then my roommate and we got along well, so I didn't have any issues, and all I did was sleep. So for that next month, it was kind of like I just didn't know when I was going to get out of jail. I was very sad, and that's when I took a dookie in the shower. Because at one point, I was just like so overwhelmed. And then a day or so after I took a dookie in the shower, that's when they let me out. So, that's not good. That's not good that you could traumatize someone to that extent that's already traumatized. Like, and I told everyone, I was like, there's no way that I'll ever forget that. I'm tearing up right now just thinking about it, like how painful that was, how embarrassing and humiliating that was, because they didn't look at it from the proper perspective, which is this asshole's getting away with murder. And that's true, because every day that I'm away from my child, that's continually forcing me in one step further into the grave. Because you did not see it from my perspective, because you took his money, because you did all this crazy shit, and I just don't have the money to fix it. That's deranged. You should just automatically do the right thing, is what I tell people. You should just automatically want to do the right thing, regardless if you're out of pocket, because it always comes back around. And that's the same concept I uphold every day, where it's like, well, obviously I don't need all of this stuff. Even if it's half eaten, maybe somebody would want it, maybe, but whatever. It's not even a big deal to me. I don't care. If nobody wants to correct this, and I go to the grave just harping about it constantly, it's a good story, but it's a true story, and that's the sad part. And I don't care if it gets fixed by anybody else, because God's going to fix it for me anyway. It doesn't matter, whether on this plane or the next, because I'm over it. I'm done explaining to people how much they hurt me. And then they just take advantage of that. They're like, yeah, we're glad we hurt somebody that's already been traumatized too much to bear. Good. I hope you are proud of yourselves. That's humiliating for you. That's insane. Who would want to hurt somebody that's not trying to be, like, in anybody's business, really? Not doing anything. I'm not over there doing shit. I'm over here using coupons and discounts. And that's my life. That's what it's been like since I became a mother and everything, especially. I did this stuff before becoming a mother, but and then people tell me, they're like, you've got so many skills that you've got. Like, you could teach people how to use, the cell phone and this and that. And I was thinking about, like, being helpful there in Hot Springs for a while. But that I was just like, for what purpose? Nobody cares about me. Nobody cares if I survive. Nobody cares if I have a home to go to. Nobody cares if I've got a comfortable place to sleep. Nobody cares if I, survive this pregnancy or not. Nobody cares. Because that's how it is. And I had to realize that. I was like, man, all this shit that happened to me, and yet I don't have the money to fix it. If I had thousands of dollars to place into attorneys, I'd be fucking rich beyond fucking measure right now, because those places would realize, like, no, these truths, you're fucked. That's why I tell people, you're fucked regardless. Even if it doesn't go through the court system here, because I don't even trust the court system, because half the time when I've spoken up, they don't listen to me. They listen to the monsters with the money. So, but yeah, I'm gonna get off here so it's not too lengthy of a video, but my weird titles to my videos, I don't even know why I come up with these things, or how. It just happens. I'm just so weird. I like it. I like being uniquely odd. So, everybody have a blessed day. It's Sunday, so hopefully everybody has a blessed week, and I'll keep everybody informed of my crazy, because obviously there are some people that do care, and then there are some people that are like, I want to see her fail so badly because she called out my crazy. Good. That makes 2 of us, or 1 million of us. If I can't do it, she can't do it, nobody can do it. And that's how I feel too. Don't fuck with people. Don't steal from them. And then fuck them over so badly that they can't even manage on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, you just have to try hard. You gotta go get a job. You go get a job and switch to alcohol and pharmaceuticals. Yeah, do the normal thing. Yeah, just go to work drunk. Like one of the nurses that came into the fucking... When I was there... Oh my fucking God. This girl, her name was Andrea, the nurse that was taking care of me. Some other girl comes in and asks Andrea, hey, you got any of them? And she turned around and she said, no, I've got a year, is what she said. Which means that other bitch was over there asking for alcohol and shit, or whatever. And then this one had, like a year sober, or whatever. I was like, oh my God. And you're on the fucking clock, bitch. Over there fucking drunk as fuck with your, fakery on. Fucking crazy. These bitches get away with so much more, and yet I'm the issue? No. Bitches over there be drinking on the fucking job be the issue. And you're a nurse. In a fucking big ass hospital. And you're gonna tell me that I'm the issue for just being a customer, a client, a patient, and speaking out against what I see and hear? And now if you have access to my phone during those times too, because I know you do some bullshit, you would have heard it too. You'd have known. And then you already know who this girl is anyway. So that's why I don't even worry about it. I just figure whatever, they'll all get their karma. And I tried not to be all hyped up, but I was like, maybe they do monitor me more than most people because of the fact that I'm some type of vigilante in that way. Or you know what I mean? Like, what is that? Anarchist. Because I'm not really trying to be one. It's just sort of happening because that's my storyline, I guess. Because this is all too much. And I would have had a normal fucking life, just peaceful on my own, delving into what everybody else delves into. But now God's like, no, bitch. You gotta tell them what the fuck is truly wrong with them. So, I don't know. That's what I say. I mean, that's all I know. And then people think I'm just like crazed, like I'm just utilizing this stuff to manipulate others. Do you see my following? Bags of groceries and some clothes? That's my following right here in my damn car. What are you talking about? I don't get to know anybody personally. I don't get involved with people. I'm not over there plotting against the fucking US government. No, I'm just some random homeless girl, and I was forced to be homeless due to the government because they didn't process my shit correctly. And I was talking to the girl at the Kroger right now, and I was, because the WIC and everything, and she said, yeah, something about I moved to this area and they took my WIC away. And she said, and she's working at a Kroger, mind you. So you're telling me, go get a job. And this poor girl even said, like, I wish I could have WIC on top of her job. She can't support herself and her child. So don't talk about things like you know what you're talking about, because you don't. So even getting a job is not going to help the situation. This woman, she was like saying, like, I wish I had WIC. And she said, well, maybe I'll try to reapply. But they took it away from me because they asked for my mother's bank statements. So that sounds great, doesn't it? The fact that these things happen to other people, and then when I relay the stories and these facts, people, who did she talk to? I can pinpoint all of them, dumbasses. I'm not making up anything in my fucking story. That's why it comes out so smoothly. That's why I do this every day. I have nothing to script. I have nothing to rehearse. These are just all in my head. Everything I state, that's why some people enjoy being around me. They're like, damn, you've been through so much, and you're still a fucking cool ass bitch in the way that you manage and all this stuff. So many people give me props. That's why I don't need anybody to be like harping at me in the negative way. I just ignore you. Like, fuck it. I'm over that. I'm not in fucking elementary school. I don't need to please you. And even when I was in elementary school, they gave me a shit ton of respect. I don't understand what the fuck you're doing. Because when I was growing up, I didn't get bullied like that. I didn't get this and that. No. That's crazy. I got nothing but love from the schools and even the people there, because we were there to help each other, because it was a Christian environment and everything. And instead, all these crazy monsters in the fucking public schools thinking they can utilize the words of God against others. No. You need to figure some shit out, because you got a lot of fucking issues. And the fact that you're going around stealing, robbing, cheating, raping, and then you're fucking pledging under the same flag, and also, praying to the same God, or, essentially praying to God, any God, they're all connected in that higher state of being. So, but no, and that's why they stopped doing the Pledge of Allegiance at school, because they know, well, who fucking cares? None of you are acting correct anyway. None of you are taking that pledge to heart. None of you are actually swearing by it and being like trying to be a good person. No, because public schools suck. I told my ex-husband, I don't want my daughter going to a public school. What does he do? Shove her in a public school, because he's a dumbass and wants my child to be a dumbass. Nice. In Arkansas, fucking top, bottom 10 of education within all the states. I told him I wanted to move somewhere nice where I could get my daughter education she deserved, which was like, even in Wisconsin, was the top 10. Did he want to do that? No. He wanted to divorce me, stay in the same city until the day he dies, and marry somebody he went to school with. Good. Good on him. But I sure as hell, that's why I guess God blessed me in another direction, so I didn't have to see that poor shit and have to listen to his lies no more. Or none of it. Crazy. But then I'm a bad person for calling him out on it and trying to be humorous about it. No, this is what I hear. This is what I see. And this is how it goes down, because apparently nobody wants to do their jobs. Nobody wants to do their jobs. So you sending me out to go get a job, and me being a shitty ass cashier here and there, don't give a fuck, just want to get fired so I can get an unemployment check. So yeah, get over yourselves. Anyway, I hope everybody has a blessed day and a lovely week. I don't care if I talk down about people, because this is the honest reactions that I get when I deal with people, especially in the South. And I feel terrible stating that, but even the people in these positions where they're supposed to be offering assistance, I can't even go up to speak to people without them wondering what I just said, and me having to repeat myself because of my proper enunciations and pronunciations. That's horrifying. Grow up. Learn how to fucking read. And that's why people are like, are you serious? Are you for real? Are you a real human being? Just because in the South you don't get a lot like me doesn't mean that we don't exist. Them smarty girls with them smarty things and them big titties. Okay? So whatever you see, nothing but titty and big old eyes and a nice smile, because half the girls around here have no teeth, no chompers. So, yeah. Okay. I'll take that to my grave. People are crazy. And that's why I said I'm not trying to promote anything. I'm trying to solve my issues. I'm trying to figure out who the fuck is going to listen, that's actually going to step in and say, holy shit, this girl has got something. Yeah, this girl has got something going on, and that is questionable, because we've noticed the same thing. And you know what? It is something to do with the system. Yeah, I told you so. I told you them years ago. All this and that with the foods and the pharmaceuticals and all this with the courts and all that. I'm telling you, yeah, it's all intertwined. I knew they did something. Years ago, I knew it. And I tried to tell people, but they didn't want to listen. They just didn't want to listen. So then now I'm confused because, and I've spoken up about this, yet I'm the one that gets looked at all cocky-eyed, all janky-eyed, and I just don't understand it. Like I'm doing something wrong. What am I doing wrong? Am I not acclimating well? Did I not blend into my surroundings? Oh, I was supposed to straighten my hair every day, make sure I got my caked on makeup, make sure I go to the gym, make sure that I am flirting with every man and putting my pussy out there for everybody and getting my shorty shorts on and my cleavage and all that. You know, like a pretty southern girl. And it's my fault I didn't fit in well, because I was talking about God, the real God, the loving God. Interesting. I got that. Okay. Now I have to work with that, though. I gotta sit here and think about this and understand that I was in the wrong. I was in the wrong completely for presuming that these people understood the large words I was saying. But they don't, because they never came in contact with nobody with no terms like that, no terminology like that. They didn't know what those words were. They sure as hell didn't. Oh, I'm so sorry, they sure as heck didn't. Because, you know, it all depends on the way that you play your role. And if you've got an officer that comes up to you, you just gotta submit, because that's what they want. Sir, isn't that right, sir and ma'am? Because I could have, just to be condescending to everybody. But then I decided, you know what, just be yourself. They'll have to adjust. Yet they forced me to try to adjust, and yet they'll be the ones that are actually wiped out by God, because they're not preaching the right things. They're not doing the right things. They're not actually acting properly, although they speak about God. They speak about worshiping devils and all that. That's these girls over here praying to the moon and the earth. They're the devil. Oh, they're over there. Yeah, they're doing their own thing. Oh, they're doing this and that. They're the devil. The way they dress, the way that they're provocative, the way that they've got curves. And I don't have those curves no more. I ate too many fried chickens. I ate too many fried potatoes. I ate too many greens that were just nothing. They didn't have no nutritional value. They were just shoved into a pot with some water, and that's how I get my nutrients, because Coca-Cola and also Starbucks. And let me get this coffee on this and this and this. And let me get this, nice baked goods. Let me get this creamy, sweet potato pie. Let me get all that. Because I can't eat a real, just plain sweet potato. No, you gotta slather it in butter. You gotta slather everything with a little bit of butter, and also put some eggs in there. That makes it real tasty, nice and creamy. Get some cream in there. Oh, you just really need some of that ground beef in that. Oh yeah, grade A ground beef. Yeah, you just get a lot of that, and you just put it all in a big pot together like that, and that's called a meal. You know, all these toxic things that I've been eating, but I don't believe that I'm toxic. No, not at all. I gained about, I'm about 350. Oh no, see, I got down to about 200. Yeah, oh yeah, I see that, all this and that. Yeah, each and every one of you, because I can pinpoint exactly what's wrong, and then you don't want to hear it, because that's not what you like. That's not what you like to be talked down to, do you? You don't want to be talked down to. You can't handle that. No, of course not. That wouldn't make no sense. You gotta figure it from God's perspective. God put all this fried chicken in the world. God put all this lard and all these, shortening, biscuits, gravy. Slather everything with gravy and we'll be gravy. Just good and golden. Golden apple, let me get you. Yeah, let me get a bite. Nom, nom. So, yeah, that's what I see. That's what I've seen the last few years. And I have no idea why people don't see that shit. And they call me crazy. Okay, girl. I'll tell you. From my perspective, you're not putting enough cream on that. You're not putting enough butter. You're not putting enough seasoning on that. We need lots and lots of salt on that. Because that's the only way we can get her done. So, yeah. Let's get going. Chop to it. Or, and when you chunk things out the window, chunk it. Because that's not actually the proper term. It's called chucking it. You chuck it out the window. But no, instead it's chunk. It's you chunk it out the window because we know what we're talking about because we're about to tell you why we know what we're talking about. Right. And I don't really care that I'm making fun of this southern drawl because I think it's pretty too sometimes. I used to speak in nice ways with it, but now I just speak like each and one of y'all. Each and every one of y'all. Whatever you say, I can say it too. You want me to talk like this to you as well? Oh, okay, that's right. Because I lost my child. I did this and that. It was me, wasn't it? No, it wasn't none of those other people that was sitting in the courtroom with a drawl just like this. It wasn't none of those. They know better. They had so much chicken. They did all this and that, fried fish and all this and that. That's what God said. Because God said, praise the Lord for that fried chicken. And praise the Lord for that golden fried and crispy fish. That catfish. Yeah, that industrialized farm catfish. And we didn't even go down to the river. No, we got this from the store. Because praise God for stores. Praise God for the pharmaceuticals. Praise God for COVID shots and all this and that. Because they're not making us crazy in the slightest. I didn't get all this and that. I didn't get, problems from that. Of course, I had like 20 people that I know personally that died from it. But that's just how God works. God places these things out there for us and we're supposed to just use them because that's what God said. It's right in front of me. Look at that billboard. It says I gotta go get some Coca-Cola. Oh, look at that billboard over there. It says I gotta go get me some biscuits and some gravy. Oh, I want some of that biscuit sandwich. Oh my goodness. There's some fried this and that. Let me get some taters. Let me get this fried and that. Yeah. Is that enough? Have you had enough? Do you understand why I'm upset? Do you understand? Does anybody else understand? Raise your hand if you do. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you comply. If you go, oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong word. Raise your hand if you can accept this. If you can engage with this. Hold on, my terms they're drifting. They're drifting. I turn into a southern woman all of a sudden. Hold on. What I meant was, if anybody agrees, raise your hands to the Lord. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Let's do that. And then we're going to leave here and we're going to see homeless people. We're going to walk right past them and spit on the ground in front of them. And also, too, we're not going to actually give to anybody around us. We're going to give to our church. Just our church. Ain't nobody else's church exists. Just our church. Just our Jesus Christ. Just our version of Jesus Christ. Giving back to the community through our church only. And not giving back to anybody else. Oh, I see you need that. I should push my buggy over to the cart corral, but I don't wanna. So I'm just gonna leave it to Jesus. I'm gonna leave my cart in the middle of the thing, but I went to church today. That's exactly how I do, because I'm a hypocrite. But actually, I'm not really a hypocrite because I spent 20 minutes with God. Oh, a full hour, an hour a week with God. And God told me to go home and watch some TV and also eat my fried chicken and also sit on my fat ass and just sit there and waste away, not doing anything good for nobody. But I'm Jesus freak. Those are the real Bible thumpers right there. So that gives me so much, it's so much fun to like do that. It's so much fun to get out what I see and to be like, oh my God, finally, do you people see what I see yet? Like, can you not? Because I can sure, there are some times when people laugh because I'm like, no, that's what I saw. What are you talking about? No, that's what I saw. The old sippy cup grandma, don't go, I can't live without my baby. Boom, boom, I fell on my ass. Oh, she pushed me. And then we had a conversation over the phone where I told her, I was like, you know I didn't push you, right? I know you didn't push me, honey. I know. And then I talked to Brandon. He said not to talk to you. No more. So all those pictures I promised you, all that, this and that, I can't do a goddamn thing because Brandon is my God. Because Brandon serves the Lord, right? Oh, yeah. Because I serve the Lord because I be making pies. Because I be wiping down the counters. What I do is I take this moldy, wet, disgusting rag and sponge and I wipe down the counters. Then I wipe down the floor right in front of people. And then I wipe down the counters again. Because I rinsed it with water. I don't see the problem in that. So, yeah. All of it. What a blessing. A blessing from God that I got to finally speak my mind and to share exactly what I see, how I see it. Because freedom of speech, regardless of the tone, regardless of this and that. Yeah, regardless of the accent. That's how it goes. And that's why I have so much fun by myself, because everybody else thinks I'm poking fun. I'm not poking no fun. They poke fun at me first. So I'm going to go ahead and poke fun at them. Because this is what I see, personally, all the time. That's why I don't deserve to be forced to live down in this area. Instead, I tried to find a new place, but everything keeps dragging me back down to the southern area. Because this and this and this, and now I've got to sit in jail for a falsified rape report that I did. Yuck. Because that's right, because I would have opened my mouth in the first place. Yuck. Right. You're right. I should go sit in jail while I'm 5.5, 6 months pregnant for the man to get away with just raping me. You're exactly right. This is the South. What was I thinking? I'm a female. I got less rights down here than I do up north. What was I thinking? I didn't even know. I forgot about the misogyny. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a big word. What I mean was, I just forgot that men rule the world. I forgot that. I better get off here. There's people walking in the trash can behind here. Trash. Just like all these southern fucking trash that I deal with. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. Not everybody's like that. I love Dolly Parton. Just saying. That's how I ended up learning how to sing a little bit. Jolene, 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 Jolene. I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 Jolene. Please don't take him just because you can. I love singing, but people always told me I was shit at it. And then now I'm told, you actually have a really good voice. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Some days it's not, but whatever. Wish I could sing for you on camera sometime. I mean, I have here and there, but like really truly sing with like a mic or something and see if it sounds any good. That'd be nice, but whatever. I don't even play those games. Why do I need to over excel? I have enough. I've got plenty of talents. I've got plenty of this and that. I'm good. Why do I need to be a star or a fucking famous for stupid reasons? Anyway, today is famous for stupid reasons. Aw, hope you have a great day too. Somebody keeps texting me, so nice. I don't know if it's a he or a she, but I love them. I hope they have a great day. And sometimes I don't message back, but they still know to message because I know I have detachments and I don't get back to people because I'm scared. Are you real? Are you there to love me or are you there to hurt me at some point? Because everybody's usually there to hurt me, so no thanks, you know? And that's when I just detach. So it would take somebody really special to get into my frame of reality and to be able to help me cope with the world around me again, you know? That's how life is. Ups and downs. But that was really nice. And I'm probably going to cry about it. Like, oh my God, someone actually cared. Like, ugh, you have no idea. And like, I got some donations this morning too, and I didn't expect all that. And I was like, that was way more than I had anticipated. You're such a blessing to me. You have no idea. Those people that actually care, and I'm going to be able to like hopefully pay off at least my insurance right now with the money that I've accumulated. And so I don't really have a whole lot yet. I wish I had enough to manage the car payment that I'm behind. Everything is just so overwhelming. You have no idea. And when I get to talking about it and stuff, that's when it gets really overwhelming. But like, I try to avoid it, because like, okay, yeah, it'll just happen. God will take care of it. But I don't like owing anybody. I don't like that. I wish I could work for the actual businesses here, you know, make your profit off of me for a little while, and then I got my free car. You know, got my house, I've got this and that. But no, everybody wants us to work these menial, low wage jobs, you know. Anyway, no. Leticia said no, and she means no. I love everybody. May 1st, 2022. Everyone have a blessed week. Leticia Collins Servin. Bye-bye.